discuss the implications of the decision is the former Planning Commission member and the man who headed the expert committee on the energy sector and diesel deregulation, Mr. Parikh. Kirit Parikh, appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV 18. Let me first ask you for your comments on the fact that the government finally seems to have bitten the bullet. So far, it was only a voluntary scheme that the government had introduced. Now they're saying that if you have a taxable income of 10 lakh rupees or more annually, then you will not be eligible for an LPG subsidized cylinder. Step in the right direction clearly, but is this going to be meaningful as far as savings for the government is concerned?
No, at this stage, I think the importance of this measure is that now government is willing to make it compulsory. So far it was voluntary, and I think the voluntary give up has worked quite effectively. Some 30 lakhs of people have given up their subsidies so far. So that when you say, not 30, what did I say, 30 lakhs? Yes.
50 lakhs have given up.
The number of people who have income tax and the people who have given, people who pay an income tax of more than 10 lakhs would not be more than 1 or 2 lakhs in the country. 2 lakhs in the country. Now, even if you say that some of these households may have more than one person, so that the total amount of people who would be affected by this, many of them may already have given up their subsidy. So anyway, the immediate impact of this subsidy cut, this measure will be very small. But of course, it's a very important measure from this point of view, that the government has taken a step and telling people that it is not just voluntary, there is going to be now more compulsion on it. One thing they could do is, next step would be that it's not just husband or wife's income more than 10 lakhs, but together if husband wife's income is more than 10 lakhs, you can implement it. And gradually, I think you should reduce it to 5 lakhs or even even more. Because it seems to me that at least 30% of the people who are getting this subsidy can easily afford to pay for gas. Today, particularly when the gas price difference is only about 125 rupees a cylinder, it is about less than 1,000 rupees a year, around 1,000 rupees a year that people will spend on LPG if there is no subsidy involved. So I would certainly think that this is a good time to really give a signal that this is going to be now some compulsion would be added, and that we will gradually tighten this measure so that more and more people come under its ambit.
You know, Mr. Parikh, these are, of course, political decisions, and these are tough political decisions. This was part of a budget proposal going back even 2 years, but at that point in time, the government had decided not to go down this path. Do you think now that there could be political will to try and address the kerosene subsidy as well, or do you think that that is going to continue to be off limits?
No, I believe that the kerosene subsidy is likely to remain off limit for some time. Because there is you need to provide some alternative. If you take away kerosene subsidy, then you know, at least in many remote areas, people use kerosene for lighting. So unless you say your Deen Dayal Gram Jyoti Yojana is covering now everyone, that you have covered a large number of almost all the households, then I think just to say that we won't supply kerosene or kerosene won't be provided with some measure of subsidy to the poor is going to be difficult for a government to do. And it's not just a matter of, I think, political reality, but I think it's a matter of also the kind of inclusive society that we want. We do want people to have clean lighting and clean cooking fuel and good lighting. So I believe that kerosene subsidy should be phased out in time with how your rural electrification goes up, and maybe perhaps a better way to do is direct benefit transfer. Direct benefit transfer is certainly an effective way of providing subsidy, and it would reach really the poor more effectively than what current situation does, because there is a lot of leakage taking place at the moment. So direct benefit transfer eliminates that motivation.
Right. And that's what the government is hoping to plug. But Mr. Parikh, appreciate you joining us. As Kirit Parikh was pointing out, it is more the symbolic message that the government is trying to send out with this measure, because materially the implications or the impact of the decision that's been taken to do away with LPG, subsidized LPG cylinders for those with a taxable income of more than 10 lakh rupees per year is perhaps not going to be that significant. But moving on now.